There we go. Now we're on air.
Okay.
I guess we all kind of own it, right?
Yeah. So we had the case is basically how to analyze it, right? We have the situation. Overall, is I feel like the doctor he wants to keep the company, but he wants to figure out a way how to do it. There's so much competition in the market. Had Colgate and Procter and Gamble doesn't know, like he doesn't know, the doctor doesn't know, like he wants to continue with the company, like, and how are they going to do that transition from like having Procter and Gamble or Colgate. Oh wait, it was
Crest.
Crest, yeah. How
Yeah.
with Crest and like kind of transition, and it's very uncertain. So right now, like I feel like we have to find a solution. What possibilities there are for the doctor, like take to make that transition. I don't know what you guys think.
My initial opinion is for it would be best for him to sell to Crest. And my reason for that, and that might just be the easy way out, but the guy has gone from business to business. You know, he's a startup guy. He's an entrepreneur. If I were in his shoes, I could see him just selling it because he started up the plumbing business, right? Or he was a plumber, then he went into conserving energy, plumbing / conserving energy. And then he went into baby products, then he went into suckers, the little lollipop thing. And now he's doing this. I mean, it just seems like this guy kind of gets on a high for 5 to 10 years and then he sells. And so in my opinion, he found a niche. And just like it talked about in there, this is like early 2000, just like he talked about in there, the market's going to start catching up to him where he's got this new low priced electronic toothbrush that now is probably when his company is valued at the highest amount. And in my opinion is the best time for him to sell because he's going to get that itch to go start something else.
Yeah, on that I can agree a little bit. At the same time, I feel like he's hiring, like you mentioned, okay, that he's hiring like a few people, but over, like, how would I put it?
He wants low overhead. He only wants
Yeah, low overhead, and at the same time very qualified for the job. So he wants to explode them to the max to get this company going.
Right.
And as it's stated in the case, it says that he's not a small fish anymore. I mean, he's now competing with the big players, and
Right.
I feel like if he wants to continue that, he needs a good, like, solid business plan to put that for competing
Right.
with those.
Yeah, I agree. What were your initial thoughts, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think he just got into the well, just kind of like what you were saying. I mean, uh sorry, this is for the first time I've read through it, so
That's all right.
through it. But I mean, he's just selling.
I mean, he definitely is, he's definitely got a pretty cool product here. It's a cheap product, but it's electronic or electric, not electronic, electric toothbrush. So, I mean, he's got a cool product. And 15, 20 years ago, to find that for $5.99, I think is what it said, or $6.99 in certain in the smaller market stores, but in like Walmart's and elsewhere, $5.99. I mean, he's got a pretty cool product. Yeah.
And now I remember, like, back in the day, he started like selling, I think, one a week or one a day or something like that, and then like 7 a day, and now he's selling like over 6,000, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
6,000 per day.
Yeah.
I feel like that's very significant. Like this is going like somewhere, you know, like, and I don't know, maybe we should like look into the margins, like how big are the margins, and like maybe just do kind of some analysis on how if like estimate the the company's value like as it is right now, as today, and projections maybe for the future,
Yeah.
like where it could go.
Well, you bring up a good point because, you know, he is selling 6,000, and that's part of like what if I were to stick with the company, if I were in his shoes, you bring up a really good point. They're doing 6,000 with only 9 people. You know, it's like, can they imagine what they did if they found more, if they could improve the manufacturing, which he already had great ties to manufacturing because of old relationships, like it said, but he's just dominating with only a handful of people. And if he could pull a few more people in and move that 6,000, and he hasn't even done marketing, I think is what it said too. They haven't really done hardly any marketing. So they throw, this could easily do 15, 20,000, if not more a day. And like you said too, he's bringing in CEOs, he's bringing in COOs, CFOs, he's bringing in leaders that are way overqualified for the position. And it could just be because, yeah, his intention is to make this thing huge. And if that's really where he's planning to go, then I would say I wouldn't even sell out to anybody. I'd just stick with what you've got going and keep going.
On that, I feel like Procter & Gamble with what was it? Colgate? No.
Crest?
Crest, yeah, Crest. I was mistaken. I feel like if he presents that idea to other, like to the second big player, right? I mean, there could be some like kind of competition between who would take the bait, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I bring this revolutionary product cheap to promote to every supermarket like Walmart, and to sell it to the mass community. And now I present the same idea to the second best player in the market. I feel like the first player will be like, oh, this could be something meaningful like in the future for my company, like bringing sales up for them, you know, for me, something like that.
Yeah. He totally could play all the big players against themselves. He could just start pinning people and saying, hey, what are you going to give me? You know, and this is revolutionary to your point. So this thing could really take off if you're willing to shell out a few bucks. But if you're not, I'm going to take this elsewhere, and they're going to blow it up. And like you said, it's going to revolutionize things. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
So
should we?
Oh, go ahead.
Should we go like over the questions and see like what we need to just for a teacher that he's gonna say this? I know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's perfect. That's what I was just going to suggest too. We've obviously, I think we've all kind of covered our initial synopsis. I say we just kind of hit question by question, and it says to do an hour, but if there's only a few of us, 2 or 3 of us, I think we could probably just do what we can with the time that we've got, and then call it good.
Definitely. Okay. Let me pull it out the questions. I think we can like share documents on this too if we want to share, but I'm sure that we all have our own island open. We can just open it.
Yeah, I've got it. Yep.
Let's see. So you're from where?
I'm in Colorado.
Colorado right now.
Yeah. George just rode from you. Yeah.
Oh really? It's been raining today all day, and it's supposed to be like nice and sunny. And I'm asking myself, like, where's the sun?
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of rain today too. But I know you guys on the other side of the mountains. You guys.
Yeah.
Rain.
I love the smell of the rain though. It's like super good.
Yeah.
Do you know where to find the case?
It was under it's under the discussion guide, I think is what it called it. Let me see.
Should be content, right?
It's on the bottom half of the first lesson. It's like the 5th one down on the bottom half. So Dr. John's product case discussion instructions.
Yes, okay, I see. Okay, there are 8 questions. Is that the one?
There's like 8 questions.
Okay. Okay, we talked about a little bit identifying opportunities. You talked about a little bit that. Like, I like how you phrase it. Like, he finds the ideas and then he develops it and then he sells it. That's his. I feel like that's his ability, just to find good ideas, like make it work for a little bit, and then just sell it out and make money out of it.
I
And
totally
that's the opportunity for like how he finds opportunities to make business with. I mean, have you guys seen the resume he has? You know, like he's selling his business to big players. Like I think he mentions that Toys R Us or Hasbro, like, for the babies, and other companies too. What do you think, Jordan?
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Jordan.
Sorry, I heard you guys, but you guys cut out.
Oh, sorry. I thought I cut you off once or twice, so I apologize. We were just turning it over.
Oh no, sorry. I was just looking over, trying to think of some things.
Oh, I mean, the way this guy's Midas. I mean, everything he touches turns to gold. I mean, he was selling earrings in high school, you know, and then sold his business to another kid, and then he goes off and sells thrift store clothing in Boston, and then while he's going to school, you know, as a
taxi driver.
What's that?
He's a taxi driver, cab driver.
Yeah, taxi driver.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, this guy is just grinded out, but at the same time, he's just a smart dude. He has a knack for this, and goes out and gets his MBA at Harvard or something like that. Yeah, graduate Harvard Business School. I mean, the dude is obviously super smart, and he just understands when a business has potential, and he finds a niche. I think that's his other piece. He finds a niche, and he just goes out and tackles it. And he did that with the conserving energy. He did that with the toys. He did that with the even with the sucker. I mean, it didn't exist, but for like $4 or $5, is that how much the suckers were going for 20 years ago? Like, seriously, I could barely spend a quarter, you know, like who's going to spend 5 bones, but this guy was doing it, and he found that niche, and he's doing that with this too.
I think that's the magic, like finding something so simple that anyone, like, I think it was like $50 per toothbrush, right? Like for the electric one.
Yeah, they were like $50 to $100.
Right? Yeah, and he got it down to $6.
Yeah, $5.
Right? $5.99. So that's his ability. I mean, he finds the need. He knows the customer. He's very observant. He has had business experience since he was little. He's been an entrepreneur, but he's like on this all the time, thinking about new ideas, finding opportunities, as you said. And that reminds me of something. Like, I was here last semester in Rexburg, and there was an event. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Startup Weekend. Well, it's for entrepreneurs. So it's an event. You go there, you create an idea, and then you develop that idea. And what I got from that is, like, you get that experience as an entrepreneur. And I feel like the doctor has that experience, and he just like uses his knowledge to explore that, to find those needs, which is like, this is genius, you know, just to create opportunities out of that.
The guy is obviously just smart, and he's book smart, but at the same time he's street smart. He just understands when something's going to be successful. And I don't know, I'm sure he had failures along the way, but of the things that he hit, he really hit it hard, and they blew up. And then it talked about him getting bored with golfing all the time. I think it was that, or in Hawaii all the time. So he was like, he just goes back to starting another business, and boom, it blows up. Dude, come on, like save some for me.
So
Yeah.
answering question number 2 would be like, where does he come up with the ideas? Would be like, is inmated, and it's part of who he is. I feel like that's who he is. Like he's been in the business since little. So it's just nature. It's who he is.
I mean,
Uh,
he finds the holes.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
they were saying like they get all the markup at the stores for the jewelry, and then he comes in and just sells everything dirt cheap, and he finds that hole. Then he goes out and just like the conserving energy, everybody's trying to figure out how they conserve the water, but he's like, no, how can I just make it so that the water heater stays hotter longer, and then I don't have to use as much water to keep the house hot and all that stuff. And so boom, comes up with that, finds a niche. I mean, he's finding stuff that people aren't doing. Stretch Armstrong, you know, all that other stuff that he did, that's
Uh-huh.
pretty big, cool stuff. And that's what he's doing. I mean, he's recognizing people want an electronic toothbrush. They don't want to spend 50 to $100, but at the same time, they don't want to just, you know, they don't they're fine with their handheld brush, but they could find electronic or electric would be better. So he's like,
You
let's
know what?
push
Yeah,
him.
I like the marketing that is kind of guerrilla marketing. Like he had the patent, like try me, right? Like on the stores, the customer doesn't even need to open the package to try the thing.
They're trying to see it.
And
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, it's like while they're in the store, they can see what's going on, they can see what it is, and then they fall in love with it, and then they buy it because it's high quality and it's so cheap that they can afford it. And even he mentions in the case that even the product had some failures initially, but those were like minors that people didn't even realize because the product was so good that they could buy it again.
right. Yeah, I agree.
So definitely, it's spin brush is a good idea.
Oh
I
yeah.
I totally like that idea.
Yeah, it's super smart too, because like especially when they were talking about the marketing or the preface work they were doing, they were asking people if they would ever even switch, and they were saying no because they like the feel of brushing their own teeth. And you know, it's kind of hard to make that jump and say, okay, yeah, I want to try the spin brush or I want to try an electric brush, but I don't want to spend $100 to do it. But I'm willing to spend the $5, $6 to give it a shot once, you know, and at least give it a shot, see if I like having the toothbrush do the work for me. You know, so he's hitting that
Yeah.
market. I don't know what his repeat business looks like, but at least it's getting those initial people to say, hey, I want to try an electronic toothbrush. I'll pay the $5, $6 to do this with this guy, and we'll see how it goes. And then if it gets great, then maybe it keeps going. But
Yeah. Do you guys remember like when did it start?
99 or something like that.
99. And
Yeah.
then
90.
he started like appearing on the records for the IRI, right? Yeah, it's a software that registers sales for what, stores. Is that what it is? Um, so it's been 99 and now we're in 2000, year 2000.
Right.
And and see, I just like I'm surprised with how much this company has evolved since.
Right off the bat.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and this is like a great opportunity. But now, as we talked about the big players, he's not a small fish anymore. He's in the records now. He's coming out of that cave to face reality, and
I,
now competition is coming out. And um, I wonder how I wonder what he planned. What was the plan? What he had in mind for that? I mean, he talks about that he's been there before, and this time he wants to succeed with the company. He wants to like make sure that the company that is successful. And I feel that the company is super qualified because of the people that it's involved in that small circle.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I think. I mean, uh, I agree. I think he's just doing an awesome job at what he's doing. And I mean, just reading through some of these exhibits, I mean, the dude is just amazing at what he's doing here.
What are you saying? What are you saying going along with number four? Question number four. What do you think? Like a larger company hasn't taken that idea. Why did they didn't think about that before? What do you think is that the case?
I look at it two ways. I think that larger companies are looking at it and saying an electronic toothbrush, we could charge a premium for it because it should theoretically cost more for them to make. Uh, what at the same time, they're also looking at this and saying, well, we got to separate it from the cost of an average toothbrush, because if we're charging, I mean, if you go to the store right now, granted, I don't know what it was like 15 years ago, I can't remember. I can't imagine it being more than $2 or $3 back then, but now a good toothbrush is $4 or $5, $4.
Yeah.
And so I could see them looking at this and saying, we've got to separate the two. We've got to maximize our opportunities with the electric toothbrush. And then we don't want to have that gap be so narrow that it's, $50 or $40 for an electric toothbrush and $4 for a regular toothbrush, because people would look at that and say, hey, 10 toothbrushes, that's what, 2 years worth, over two or 2.5 years, whatever that might be. But that's 2 years worth of toothbrushes when they could buy the electric toothbrush for $40 and have it for 10 years.
Yeah.
So they want to make sure that there's that separation and distinction. They would rather say, okay, we're going to charge $80, and we're going to, so that it keeps that customer from either saying, hey, I'm going to dive in and go and spend $80, but it's a serious commitment. But then there's also those other ones. Well, if I can't do that, then I might as well get the good of the cheaper ones and still spend $4. So, what Dr. John is doing, and why I feel like the big businesses aren't happy with him, is he's coming in saying, here's an electric toothbrush for $5 or $6 to compete with the $4 non-electric that you're going with there.
And we can see, we can see how much he's selling and how much money he's making, right? Because it's a good opportunity for the client. I mean, if you were the customer, what would you get? Do you get the cheaper and replacement, or you get the nice and cheap and good quality, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's an issue of them trying to say, hey, we want to keep our electric as the premier high end, and we want to keep our manual toothbrush still at a premium, but it's manual, Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's coming in and breaking that barrier, basically.
And I feel like that kind of promotes other companies, for competition, even though he has started the idea, now companies are going to think more about developing their own and kind of promote competition, which is capitalism, right? We all compete, we all make money.
Or change their decision. Yeah, totally.
Okay, let's see. Number 5, how much is pin brush worth? Have you guys think about any numbers, made any calculations?
I haven't. I mean, it said in here that he raised $1 million right off the bat to start the company, and if he's selling 6,000 a day at $6 a piece, and there was like a $2.50 markup or something like that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's got to account for something. I'm trying to think of what. There's 6,000 units a day. I mean,
I wonder what are the margins on each like how much it costs for each unit to make, and also
I want to say it was. I want to say it was like somewhere around 2 or 250. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing, but
250 per unit,
per unit, yeah.
and then he's selling it for 599 or something.
Right.
So that would be like almost 55% of margins on what's he's having. I feel like if he finds this client with, I mean, this contract with Procter and Gamble and Crest, um, margins definitely can go down. I mean, they could invest totally in that product and then make it more. Um, I don't know, find ways. Like that's what we do in business. We find ways to reduce price, cost, and everything, and then make it like have big margins so that we can make more money. Right? That's the
Right.
idea. Um, so I would say, I mean, what should he do? I mean, we know that business is like it's a great idea. He obviously has a great business plan model. Uh, I would say like he keeps the company. He keeps like developing the company. He has great people to work with. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he keeps the company and maybe grows it just kind of like you were saying, maybe develop it a little bit more. And like Vaughn was saying at the start, you know, hiring a couple more people to. I mean, I can't imagine what he would do if he got a couple more people and grew that number from 6,000 to 15 or whatever it is. So I think he should keep it and then just like we were saying, develop it.
What
Yeah.
would be? What? Yeah, sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
good, good.
I mean, I was thinking like, what would be something that why wouldn't he keep the company? I mean, he has he has had companies in the past, and he always saw those businesses, right? I mean, he at this point, I feel like he's learned from mistakes in the past, and now he's more, I guess, prepared to face competition like in a more aggressive way. And as you said earlier, like he hasn't even invested in marketing at all, and
Yeah.
all those sales are just coming because of guerrilla marketing, the try me thing on the store side. Um, and I feel like if he invests more in marketing, then we can see more results, like more sales and product promotion.
To me, it all just boils down to, is he committed to being there long term? And if he can give the commitment to being there long term, he absolutely should just keep the company. I wouldn't sell to anybody. I would just keep it and continue to grow it, because what they've done just on their own, just like you guys are both just saying, what they've done with just a small handful of people in a few months, basically a year, is crazy. And in my opinion, just like you guys are saying, he brought in executive level people, way overqualified for a company of only 9 people, to do this job. If he's willing to be there long term, the company has tons of potential to be huge someday. But he's got to be willing to stick it out long term. So I guess that would be the deciding factor for me. If he's willing to stick it out, he has to keep it, because he's making a ton of money and he has the potential to really make more money, tons more money. But if he's just looking to make a buck like he has in the past, I don't want to make it sound like he's just jumped from one to another. But in essence, he's kind of just said, he's kind of gone from just like we were saying, from the earrings to the secondhand clothing to the conserving energy to the uh, toys to the suckers to now this. I mean, he's gone through a whole bunch of jobs or a whole bunch of startups that I just know how that itch is.
Yeah,
That you start something, yeah,
it's not like he's struggling financial. I mean, he's doing
no,
pretty good. I mean, is there a reason why to sell it? I mean, the company is flourishing right now. It's like it's a
yeah,
baby company,
it's
but
just hitting its stride.
it's so sweet that we need to nourish it.
Yeah,
We need to put more effort in it. And I feel like this business is going somewhere, definitely.
Totally.
All those sales, and even knowing that he hasn't invested anything in it, like in terms of marketing. I
Yeah.
mean, if he invests more in marketing, then can you
It-
imagine like where we could be, right?
yeah. I mean, it's definitely the potential is there. So if he's willing to stick it out, he's got to keep the company. And I wouldn't sell to anybody else. I'd continue to grow it and grow it and grow it. But if he's, if his commitment level is that where he's like, hey, I built this up, now I've got a ton of money, I'm going to go back to golfing, then I would say sell it to Crest and sell it while it's high. So
Yeah, definitely. Anything else to add on that?
anything else from you, Jordan?
I don't. I mean, I like what we.
Oh, you're talking like a robot.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think I lost him.
it's all right. It's all broken up.
Guys, I'm in a basement.
Nice.
That's why it looks so sketchy here.
That's all right. So
Uh,
so how do we analyze the case? I mean, these last two questions don't have much to do with anything because I got to do my whole case write up now for this thing. I'm not sure what oh, darn it. Don't tell me my computer just died on me.
oh no.
That's what's recording our thing.
Well, I'm sure this will be recorded. Professor
Oh, yeah.
will do our homework.
I'll let him know.
Talking about analyze the case, I feel like it's very. I look Brother Crawford videos, how to start analyzing cases, and I feel it's very insightful on. Let's just going through the case, like really quick, like the first part, and then see what the situation is, and then what is required, what is that it needs to be done, what is the solution, what are the solutions that we need to figure out. At the same time, using, for example, using the graphs and other information like the financial and the charts, the projections for the future, just to know and support what are we talking about. I mean, in terms of sales and sales projection in the future. Um, that's that's how I do it. I don't know what if you guys have any other ways how you guys do it, how you guys analyze cases, and I'm welcome to learn from you.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. I mean, what I tried doing was going through obviously there's the study guide that it suggests pulling it up. And so I pulled that and I went through it, but darn it, what is going on with my computer? But it looks like there's still a lot, like to your point, is how far do you analyze it with the numbers and everything else? Because there's a lot of numbers to go with this, but really it's mostly a personal decision that he's got to make about himself and where he is. So that's
a
particular situation.
yeah. At the same time, it's more like not reading and rereading, but more like thinking and meditating. What is the solution? What can it be done? Right?
Right.
What are the outcomes? What if he does? What if he does this? What if he does that?
Right.
So more like analyzing, more like thinking about it, meditating, and then coming up with a solution. I don't feel like there is a wrong solution. I feel like if we all brainstorm, we can get. I mean, we can analyze a pretty good case, and the financials and all the graphs will help us support that.
Right.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Number 8. Do you have any questions on mine, Jordan?
Do I have any what?
Any questions on and things you learn to us as an entrepreneur?
Uh, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think I got any questions.
I mean, if you were like, okay, if you were a business owner, you own let's say a candy factory. If you had the opportunity to meet a doctor, I mean, you know who he is now, right?
Uh-huh.
What question would you ask him to help you maybe learn from his experience to help you? I don't know, something that you could use for your
Okay,
company.
okay. Sorry, I didn't really understand your question the first time, but I got it now. I think mostly I'd probably just ask him about his. I mean, what was his maybe his weaknesses? I mean, what did he wish maybe he did right at the start? Uh, and maybe what he did to resolve those solutions or those problems that he first started off with, if he had any. I mean, uh, I don't know. I guess, get to try and get in his head and think uh, what he did good. I mean, I don't know. Uh,
I mean, I'm with you. I would try and get into his head and just kind of say, hey, what is it that because there's no golden ticket, right? I mean, if there was a golden ticket, everybody would go get it, and everybody would start up this business, and it would be perfect, and everybody would be happy. But him is how did he come to recognize the gaps? Like
Yeah, yeah. I
you
like
know,
that one.
yeah, it's like, hey, what was it? Was there something that you saw? Was it just everyday activity? What was it that got you to think, hey, I've got an idea for that? How did he come up with his ideas? What was it that triggered the thought for him to say, I could do something with this, and for him to then go off and then do it, because he obviously is very successful at it. So that would be a question that I'd want to know from him is, what inspired the idea? What was it that kicked the whole thing off?
Yeah, I would ask him
And
like, what wakes you up at night? Like
yeah,
with all those ideas, what keeps you motivated? Because it seems that from early age, from an early age, he has been in this, and he's like a motivated guy, right?
yeah,
He got this idea, he developed the idea, and then he sell it. Then he finds a new one. So I just wonder like, what's going through his mind, just to keep himself motivated, um, even when some of his businesses he sold didn't work out, right?
yeah.
Now he has a new prototype, a new idea, and it's already working, and it's already selling 6,000 units a day. So I just wonder, like, what is in his mind? What is how he thinks, right? What is the way he thinks? And I don't know. I was just like pick his brain on that and just explode that on my business. If I have a business, explode that and apply that. And like, I don't know. I asked him to be my mentor, probably.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, there's a lot that can be learned from this guy. He has such a vast background of experience that just like you said, being a mentor, just being around the guy, you could learn a lot, and just kind of rubbing shoulders with him. So, I mean, that's a question. Those are all questions like you guys are bringing up that I would be wanting to know and just researching with him. But ultimately, just you know, there's so much that just comes in day-to-day activity that by seeing somebody in action, by being a mentor with them, as you come across it, just getting their advice and their opinion is what's going to help spark that thought, that idea.
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
I really like that first comment you say about like how did you find the gaps? That's a good one. I mean, because obviously he's finding the gaps and other companies are not, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
uh, And that's, I mean, one of my teachers here, he said that he became an entrepreneur because he went to Walmart and then he just observes people and how they buy things. And it's interesting how Walmart uses psychology just to get you buy, let's say, a candy bar, or question like why do Walmart put the milk at the back of the bag, so you can go all the way back, get milk, and then in the same time, like while you go get your milk, you get, oh look, I had chips, and
Yeah.
I need bread, I need this, and so you get like to buy more things.
Oh, there's Oreos conveniently. Oh,
Yeah,
to get the,
Yeah, you can
I
never go to
can't-
Walmart getting one thing. So.
yeah.
yeah,
You can't just buy milk without getting Oreos, so might as well pick these up, you know?
right, yeah. I think we cover all questions. I think the last part would be summary of our votes, final decisions, thoughts. Um, it says provide a time step of 317. Oh, I think that's for you.
It sounds like all three of us agree that he shouldn't sell.
Yeah, he should definitely shouldn't sell. I feel that he totally should invest in promoting that product in marketing, definitely. Because I feel like he's losing money because he's not promoting that product. Because he's losing more money than investing money than if he was investing money in not promoting it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm actually looking it up. I'm Googling it right now to see what he's done. Just to see if it's still around or not. I mean, because I can't think of it. I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, probably changed names or something, or someone bought it.
Yeah, it maybe did get to a point where, 5 years down the road, where instead of it being valued at 10 million up at the front, it's now valued 50 or 100 million. So then he sold it then.
Yeah.
But can't find anything yet. So, well, cool.
I think it's been good just talking about the case, and it's a pleasure to meet you guys. And anything else we need to do for this? I think we had to like do 200 word report, right? On that.
Yeah, what we have to, so I'll copy the link and then I'll put it on the discussion board or on the Dr. John's case discussion board. And then I think all that we have to do at this point is, actually, I think that's it from a group perspective for this week, at least.
Okay.
Is I'll post it on the discussion board and then that's it.
Yeah.
Do you have to upload the link to YouTube and then put the link on that? Okay. I think we're good.
Yeah,
Thank you guys.
I'll load it up. All right. Hey, Rodrigo, good meeting you, man. Jordan,
Good meeting you.
Hey, it's good seeing you again.
All right, see you guys.
Keep in touch. Bye.
Bye. I'm still finishing this. Gosh, the computer's running so slow.
It's our internet. It's the computer.
It's not the internet.
The computer in there is going so slow.
Not the internet.